Which pool stroke is better? I want you to watch these two runouts and try to watch them just as a learning exercise, not just shots being made, okay? Same table, same layout, same player. I'll let these play out for you and just pay close attention to the stroke. If you want, pause the video here and leave me a comment telling me what you noticed. Now, this is one of those details that could be easy to miss if you are used to watching the game and not the player. Because guess what? There is a difference. One of these runouts uses a pop stroke with a shorter, springier follow through, and the other uses an extension stroke where the cue keeps traveling forward and doesn't abruptly stop. Yeah, okay, Nate, who cares? What's the point? Fair question. What I want to do here is break down what each of these strokes is, why it's useful to understand the difference, and then I'll let you decide which one might make sense for your game. But before we talk about pop versus extension, we need to talk about the main thing that separates them.
Follow through.
Follow through.
Follow through. Follow through.
Gotta follow through.
Follow through is everything.
Now, I think follow through is one of the most misunderstood ideas in pool. A lot of players, including me for a long time, think that follow through is something that you do that affects the cue ball. But once I really started paying attention to it, I realized it's not really what's actually happening. By the time follow through happens in your stroke, contact is already over. The cue ball is gone, unless you believe in telekinesis or the force or something. Nothing that happens after contact is going to change what happens to the cue ball. Now, that might not sit with you very well, but I don't think all the testing and slow motion footage in the world is going to prove to you otherwise. And look, spending energy trying to force a certain look to your stroke's follow through isn't going to do what you think it's doing. Believe me, I know that was me. And honestly, realizing this saved me a lot of wasted practice time. Follow through can tell us a lot about what happened before contact. I've started to think about it more like a diagnostic tool than anything else. It gives us clues about timing, acceleration, tension, and direction in our stroke. Quick side note, I did talk about this idea a bit more thoroughly in my video on improving faster at pool. So if you wanted to go deeper into that, I'll link it below, but the idea here is simple. Description beats prescription. Some instructors will tell you exactly what stroke you should use. Sure, that can be useful, but I have found, at least in my own game, that kind of breaks down because pool isn't a one-size-fits-all game. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's coordination is different. Instead of trying to copy what pros look like, I found it more useful to study why something works and then experiment with those learnings in my own game. So with follow through, the question becomes, what does my Q-tip naturally do after contact? For me, paying attention to that plus being intentional about what I'm testing has made improvement feel a lot less random. So let's talk about these strokes. The pop stroke. Now, the pop stroke is more of an old school style delivery. The Q-tip follows through the cue ball a short distance and then snaps back slightly as the arm reaches the end of its range of motion. That snap isn't you actively pulling the cue backwards. It's more like a resistance and rebound from the well-timed swing. Most pop strokes tend to come from a pendulum style delivery. The elbow stays relatively high and still, and the forearm does most of the work. Now, there are other mechanics you can layer in below the elbow, but I'm going to keep this simple here and save the deeper mechanics for other videos. Now, a pendulum stroke doesn't require a pop, but a lot of pop strokes are born from that motion. So you'll see this type of stroke in players like Shane Van Boening or Aloysius Yap, which, by the way, is what originally got me curious enough to start experimenting with this myself. Aloysius won more big tournaments than every other player last year, so naturally, I was asking, what is the problem that this stroke is solving? Now, on the surface, these are two elite players with very different looking strokes, different rhythms, different mechanics. But when I slowed things down and I looked at like how the cue was traveling through the cue ball, there is a similarity. Short, snappy, oh so spicy. Now, let's talk about the extension stroke. An extension stroke is when the cue has a noticeably longer follow through and slows to a halt. Now, what I've seen and felt in my own game is that this usually comes from two things. Sometimes it can be when the cue moves forwards in the hand, sometimes called a slip stroke. Now, actually, I have a whole video on stroke slipping, which is something that I do. So I'll throw that up here if you want to check it out. But most of the time, an extension stroke is from an elbow drop. This is when the elbow and arm drop after contact, which creates more space for the grip hand to move and naturally extends the follow through. Now look, Elbow drop is a bit of a taboo and has a bad reputation in pool. A lot of players believe it automatically creates flaws and leads to inaccuracies. Honestly, that hasn't matched what I have observed in my experience, and from studying other players, the elbow itself isn't the problem. It's all about when it moves. If the elbow drops before contact, yeah, that can absolutely cause issues. But once contact is over, the cue ball doesn't really care what your arm does. Is it playing with fire a bit? Maybe. Sometimes a little fire isn't a bad thing, especially when you realize a lot of elite players use some form of extension stroke. Players like Albin Ocean or Fedor Gors, for one. The movement is smooth, the timing is clean, and the strike just looks oh so sweet. Now, I want to talk about the pros and cons of each stroke, and I want to be very clear about this part. This is purely based on my experience as an amateur. This is not doctrine. This is just how these strokes have felt to me after spending a lot of time playing around with them. So let's start with the pop stroke. One of the biggest advantages of this, I think, for most players, is that the pop stroke encourages the elbow to stay in one place. It doesn't have to, but in practice, it usually does. For me, that's a really big deal because I naturally have an elbow drop. So that means fewer moving parts, and fewer moving parts often makes Q-tip accuracy easier to maintain. The pop stroke also gives very clear physical sensation in the arm. I really feel the hit. So when I'm locked into a pop stroke, my shot making and my confidence tend to go up. I feel more decisive. I feel connected to the cue ball. Now, I do think there are some downsides to a pop stroke. It relies more on a hit-based delivery, which can make soft shots, which are tricky, even trickier. And there's also a risk of starting to muscle the cue, pulling it back manually instead of letting it rebound naturally. And when that happens, tension tends to creep in, steering shows up, timing gets really weird, and honestly, just looks really ugly. And what's funny is that actually brings me to the pros and cons of the extension stroke, because I actually used to think that the extension stroke was the prettier of the two. And look, maybe it still is, but again, watch Aloysius Yap hit a few balls for a minute. That pop stroke, it's looking pretty nice, dude. Anyway, looks aside, the extension stroke for me is all about two things: timing and efficiency. It keeps the sweet spot window of your stroke open longer. There's a slightly longer period of peak speed where the contact can actually happen cleanly. Now, maybe this is just me because I incorporate a slip stroke, but it makes the timing feel more forgiving, and especially when you start adding in those other mechanics, that's huge. The extension stroke can also generate a lot of cue speed with less effort. It's efficient. There's more physical space for more leverage, for more muscle groups to work together, which can mean better speed control with less strain. Now, there are some downsides to the extension stroke. There are simply so many moving parts: elbow movement, grip movement, wrist angle changes to keep the cue level. More movement means more chances for something to go wrong. Now, this is something I have personally dealt with for a long time. This stroke demands a lot of physical attention. It takes a long time to learn. Now, I think it's been really beneficial in my game to learn it, but still, it's been really tough. And on top of that, sometimes there just isn't enough room to use an extension stroke. When I'm stretched out over the table and my hand gets close to the rail, I may end up hitting my hand into the table. Yikes. Or for instance, draw shots. Just like the first shot in this pattern where the cue ball comes back towards the shaft, you gotta move your cue out of the way to make space for the cue ball. And that's gonna make your stroke feel unfinished. And when your body feels hampered like that, it's really easy to get tentative on the hit. And that's when stroke flaws and missed balls and bad speed shows up. So this is why you're here. You wanna know, which stroke do I think is better? Look, I can't speak for anyone else, so I won't. What I will say is I'm a big fan of finding mechanics that work for you and utilizing what's great for your body. More importantly, knowing when to use each set of mechanics. So my short answer is I use both, but I also use a blend of the two in somewhat of a mixed style stroke. It includes other elements like a slip stroke or a wrist movement. That's not crazy. I think most sports work that way. In golf, tennis, baseball, martial arts, you don't have one tool for every situation. You rely on a set of tools to round out your game. So what works best for me is learning to be flexible. Sometimes I use a pop stroke, sometimes I use an extension stroke, sometimes just a plain old pendulum stroke. Most of the time, it's some kind of blend, like this. Here's that same runout while using the stroke I feel most appropriate for each shot in my body. This is just how I naturally play. Now, I do think I have found ways to keep shots feel connected and decisive like a pop stroke, while still borrowing some mechanical benefits from an extension stroke. So to give you guys a clear idea of when I like to use each stroke, here's how this breaks down. At medium to firm speeds, I can use either pretty comfortably. Now at firm to breaking speeds, especially while breaking, I almost always use an extension stroke. It just makes sense when speed is priority. Now, at very soft speeds, I generally forget about the pop stroke entirely and fall back on a pendulum stroke or a very light extension. Now on draw shots, I often prefer a pop stroke. Think about it, it's easier to keep the Q-tip down because your elbow stays up. And unless I really need power, then the elbow drop and extension come in. But maintaining Q-tip accuracy is usually the priority. Now on follow shots, it's usually the opposite. The extension stroke feels more natural since the elbow drop encourages a higher tip placement anyway. So the real takeaway here is not that one stroke is better than another, it's that understanding both gives you flexibility, and flexibility leads to comfort, and comfort gives you confidence in your game. Now, one last important thing before you gotta run out of here and start changing your stroke. If you're like me and you don't have much table time, mostly playing leagues or quick sessions, this is probably not something you want to overhaul mid-match. This is something that shines when you actually have time to experiment and solidify the mechanics that feel natural to you. If you have a home table or dedicated practice time, this is where you try something different. This is when experimentation really pays off. Take a set of balls and just shoot one ball at a time straight into a pocket. Feel the hit, experiment. Please never try experimenting with your stroke when you're playing under pressure. And if you don't have that time now, that's totally fine. File this away, put it in the old memory bank. Just be aware that this is a lesson learning how to observe strokes in other players and try to take that in and adapt it for your own improvement. The methodology here is not that you watch pro matches for entertainment, it's that you watch pro players for improvement. If you're with me there and any of this sounds good to you and you would like to join me on this journey, subscribe. And by the way, let me know in the comments which stroke you end up using more. I do try to respond to pretty much everything. I'll see you there. Happy shooting.